Okay, remember that they are changing my voice. I made a little quick paper about intelligence. So this video is about my official stance on intelligence, aka who is smarter than who and why. I'm going to try to be clear and concise, keeping this brief. And keep in mind that the sabotage I endure includes poisons, and it causes me to make grammatical errors, as I cannot stare at the screen for very long, and that includes when I'm typing things up. That includes when I'm talking as well. Okay. So point number 1. To be smart in the truest sense, one must be wise and, of course, righteous. People on this planet know that they are not smart. They just want to harass people using an invalid racial supremacy and a mere rigged education system based scale. They love evil and hate. They love evil, and what they are ready to die for and aren't gives it away, among other things. Point number 2. The heart is said to be the seat of intelligence because without the moral might to do what is right, one cannot be smart. And of course, the brain interacts with the heart a certain way. That's why things tend to feel like they're coming from the heart. And, it has to do with the heartbeat, heart rate, blood flow, brain-body interactions. It has to do with the brain-body interaction and so on and so forth. Okay. True wisdom can only be found in the divine order, which is the Royal African Falcon top martial arts order. Other groups, especially other races, on this issue, mind you, disgrace themselves by plotting to not allow me to be acknowledged publicly and in a timely fashion. Okay, obviously, people say, hey, after this guy's gone, we'll see what we can do. That's not exactly doing the situation justice, doing God justice, doing me justice. They work to suppress me for the purpose of trying to make their races seem superior at a time when technology would quickly make it even more of a complete idiot's move. Again, I'm not racist. This is, I'm trying to be concise and clear and to the point. And it's the easiest way to say it is to say it the way I said it, because there's a lot of complex issues in there. There's a lot of reasons I'm right, and I'm just going to keep going here. Okay. 3. Sabotaging people, especially in an organized manner to try to make one of their group seem superior, is a complete idiot's move. Okay, so if you sabotage people, especially in an organized manner to try to make your group or people in your group or someone in your group seem superior, then you're being an idiot. I mean, who are they trying to impress and why? And if they are just trying to control people, why? It is a serial killer-like move, right? It is serial killer-like and sick when one tries to control people unfairly, especially in the way the corporations and governments are doing it. Point number 4. The lowest forms of life and genes allow utter scum to harass me and to pretend that the most failed and pathetic families and their allies are smarter or more ideal, etc. Again, no offense to people. This is a difficult video to make, because the topic requires that I say things that seem to be deliberately offensive. Okay, this is the truth here. Okay, and I have to make examples out of people for the greater good, for what is best, for doing God's work and what is best for everybody in reality. Even if everyone becomes bitter and hates each other to their very core, and the murder rate increases 100-fold, it's still best that they face reality. They live in reality. Evil people deal in illusion and makes people ill. It is better that people accept the consequences of living in reality. Point number 5. There are various forms of intelligence. The highest form of intelligence is the ability to come into the highest cause and to have divine intention. And obviously, sabotage must be considered. Must consider the effects of it. You see, one must have insight and sense. They must prioritize while having sound judgment and mental clarity. They must commit to wise action and be ready to die and or let everyone and everything die for the highest cause. They must have a wise course and move at God's speed, so to speak, meaning in God's spirit in reality, not in theater arts, psychology, propaganda, or any other lies. Point number 6, to truly have existential intelligence. That's intelligence related to why we're here. One must have moral might. If they do not, then they are just tricking themselves and living a lie. This means that in fact they are very dumb. So if you don't really get moral might, right, then what are you doing in life? It's like you're just sitting down staring at the wall, because you got to kind of come to life, right? A moral life and moral might are connected. Point number 7. To truly have intrapersonal and interpersonal intelligence, right, the ability to understand yourself and others, one must be in the divine order. I have seen countless people who believe that they are smart fail to understand who I am to the bare minimum degree to be smart. They focus on the wrong pursuits in life and fail to have a true understanding of themselves and others beyond a certain point. Okay? So they failed to have a true understanding of themselves and others. Why? Because they didn't understand enough to come into the divine order. They didn't understand other people, themselves, how things relate in nature. We'll get to that. They didn't understand these things enough to come into the divine order and then grow from there and to truly cultivate a higher form of intrapersonal, interpersonal, existential, spatial, logical. We'll get into this, these various forms of intelligence, which prove definitively that mere book smarts are inadequate, which is also a key a theme in the Bible, a key point, a key concept in the Bible, a key argument that's made in the Bible. Okay. Point number 8. To truly have naturalist intelligence, one must be in the divine order, or they have failed to evolve mind, body, soul, and spirit to the point where they escape the animal world and truly come into the human world. Point number 9. To truly have logical, mathematical intelligence, one must be logical more than mathematical. One has to have the courage to do what is moral, mental, spiritual, and romantic all the time. If one has a different goal as their main goal, then they are being insane and not logical. From a scientific view, all the wisest person has in life is faith in the moral and logical assumption, because they're connected. Say, what are you going to do in life, right? What is the logical assumption? It's also the moral assumption. It's the honest assumption. It's the truth. It's the righteous and just assumption. Universal pinpoint and moral precision as a philosophy, and religion means that one must masterfully move to pinpoint what is moral and do it within the boundaries of a righteous martyr's reason. Now, why a righteous martyr's reason? Because when you live universal moral precision, okay, people come after you. They don't respect it and leave you alone. They say this guy is showing us up. They say this guy's exposing the wrong in the world. They say this guy's, creating a sentiment that makes it so people don't want to date evil people who, make a killing in business and otherwise, and so on and so forth. For many reasons, they persecute you. Point number 10, to truly have spatial intelligence, understanding how 3D objects relate in nature, one must be in the divine order for the reasons that I've stated in this video, right? You have to truly kind of escape being an animal and come into the moral position of somebody who submits to moral greatness. If you don't submit to moral greatness from God through his Son, then you're not moral. And if you're not moral, it's because you're not wise enough to be moral, right? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of morality. It's the beginning of intelligence. Until then, you're like a beaver, so you're skilled at building something or doing some scientific things. So what? Thank you.